Imagine this. High above the jagged peaks of an ancient mountain, two cosmic forces clash in a battle not of swords or fire, but of words, words that echo through eternity. One is the mighty Archangel Michael, guardian of heaven's armies. The other? Lucifer himself, the fallen star, the adversary known as the devil. And at the center of this otherworldly showdown, the lifeless body of Moses, the prophet who parted seas and spoke face to face with God. What could possibly drive these eternal beings to fight over a corpse buried in secret? What did Michael do that silenced the Prince of Darkness without lifting a finger? Stay with me, because the truth hidden in this ancient tale will challenge everything you thought you knew about good, evil, and the thin veil between life and death. To understand this epic confrontation, we have to go back to the dusty scrolls of the Bible, to the final days of one of history's most pivotal figures, Moses. It's around 1406 BC, and Moses, now 120 years old, stands on Mount Nebo in the land of Moab, gazing across the Jordan River at the land God promised to his people. A land he himself would never enter. Why? Because decades earlier at Meribah, Moses struck a rock instead of speaking to it as God commanded, a sin that barred him from crossing into Canaan. As Deuteronomy 34 tells us, Moses dies there on the mountain. And in a mysterious twist, God himself buries him in a valley opposite Beth Peor. Here's the eerie part. No one knows where his grave is to this day. No grand tomb, no markers, no pilgrims flocking to pay homage, just silence and secrecy. This isn't just a footnote in history, it's loaded with significance. In ancient Jewish culture, the burial of a leader like Moses could easily become a site of idolatry. Think golden calves or relic worship. By hiding the body, God prevents his people from turning a holy man into an object of false reverence. But whispers of something more circulated in Jewish traditions, tales that made their way into apocryphal texts like the Assumption of Moses, a first-century Jewish writing referenced by early church fathers like Origen. These stories hint at unseen forces at play, involving celestial beings who aren't content to let Moses rest in peace. This sets the stage for a confrontation that's less about a physical body and more about the eternal struggle between divine justice and accusation. Picture the scene, right after Moses' last breath. The air is thick with the scent of desert sage, the sun dipping low, casting long shadows over the valley. God has just laid his servant to rest in an unmarked grave, a final act of mercy to shield Israel from temptation. But according to reconstructions from the Assumption of Moses, a text alluded to by early Christians like Clement of Alexandria, something stirs in the spiritual realm. The devil appears. Perhaps as a shadowy figure, his voice dripping with malice. Why does he care about Moses' body? Scholars like Richard Bauckham suggest Satan sees an opportunity to accuse. Moses wasn't perfect. He killed an Egyptian in his youth, burying the man in the sand to hide his crime. This body belongs to me, the devil might have snarled, for he is a murderer, a sinner, under the law's curse. It's a legal claim, echoing Satan's role as the accuser in Revelation 12:10, where he stands before God day and night, pointing fingers at the faithful. God dispatches Michael, the archangel, described in Daniel as the great prince who protects God's people, a warrior whose presence is like thunderclouds unfurling. The devil's deeper motive emerges, not just accusation, but disruption. Ancient Jewish legends suggest Satan wanted to reveal the grade's location to the Israelites, turning it into a shrine of idolatry, luring them away from pure worship of God. Imagine the devil whispering temptations. Let them build altars here, offer sacrifices to Moses' memory. It's a cunning ploy, preying on human weakness for heroes and relics, much like how relics were venerated in later centuries. Michael stands firm, and the dispute escalates into a heated argument, words flying like arrows in the unseen world. Now the climax, as captured in Jude 1 verse 9. But when the Archangel Michael, contending with the devil, was disputing about the body of Moses, he did not presume to pronounce a blasphemous judgment, but said, "The Lord rebuke you." This phrase, "the Lord rebuke you," echoes Zechariah 3 verse 2, where God rebukes Satan over the high priest Joshua's sins. In the din of the dispute, with echoes off the canyon walls, Michael's invocation silences the accuser, affirming that grace triumphs over law. This dispute connects to broader redemption history. Consider Enoch, who's taken by God without death, or Elijah, who's whisked away in a chariot of fire. Moses' case is unique. His body becomes a battleground, foreshadowing early Christian debates about resurrection and the afterlife. This tale influenced views on angelic hierarchies and demonic claims, reminding believers that even in death, the faithful are under divine protection. As the dust settles, Michael's act ensures Moses' body remains hidden, his spirit exalted, appearing later with Jesus at the Transfiguration, proving death couldn't hold him. But what if the story isn't so literal? Some theologians argue the body of Moses symbolizes Israel, the body under Moses' law, disputed as Satan accuses them of unfaithfulness. Others question the assumption of Moses' reliability. Is it inspired truth or borrowed legend? Early church fathers like Origen accepted the dispute as historical. Others saw it as symbolic. If even Michael treads carefully around the devil, what hidden powers does Lucifer wield? This tale challenges our tidy views of Scripture, leaving us to ponder the blurred lines between myth and revelation. As the echoes of this dispute fade, we're left with the truth: true power lies in humble reliance on the divine. Michael's restraint is wisdom, a model for us in battles against doubt or temptation. This story of a hidden grave reminds us our legacies are in God's hands, shielded and exalted beyond our imagining. As an old hymn echoing the Assumption sings, God will arise to lift the humble. May that hope carry us from despair to grace. What do you think happened on that mountain? Drop your thoughts below and subscribe for more dives into mysteries that shape our world.